So yeah. And then, yeah, now that we understood like what a version control system is, centralized version control system architecture, distributed architecture, now let's talk about the architecture of Git in particular. Of course, yeah, this is distributed architecture. And like we discussed, yes, it will have two repositories, the remote repository and the local repository. Okay, so if you look into this local repository, yeah, again, like I said, they don't directly work on local. Okay, they'll be working directory. It's nothing but like another folder or else another directory. Okay, if you are Linux person, you may consider it's called directory or folder for Windows guys. So it's another folder. So you make changes here. Again, after making changes in a particular directory, it's not that you are just moving them to local straight away. We'll be moving those changes to first to staging area. What is the staging area? Staging area is nothing but some virtual layer, a virtual area. Okay, it is also called as index area. Okay, staging area or index area. From here, the changes can be moved to local repository. Right? It's not straight away. Like it's a two steps from working directives to staging, from staging to local. You cannot just do this way directly from working directory to local. No, that's not possible. Right? So I repeat, staging area is nothing but a virtual layer. It's also called as index area. Okay, first you need to move your changes to index, from index to local, and from local to remote. Remote will be shared across multiple people. So once you move your changes remote, everyone else can see your changes. Right? See, don't worry, we are going to see this practically today. I'll show you what is staging area, what is working directory. We'll see all of that in practice today. Okay, just understand first. I'll show you in few minutes. And yeah, again, you may be having a question like, what is the importance of this index area or staging area? Why do you need it? This is also important from the point of interview. So listen each and every point carefully. Okay, there's a question from Sumit. Any specific use of the staging area? I mean, why the need of staging before local? Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about. That's what I'm saying now. So, what is the importance of this staging area? Yeah, this staging area works like a preview or else pre-check before your changes goes to local. You may say it like preview or else pre-check before you have a go to local, or else you may say like it is to have a better control on what changes are going to local. Okay, what changes you want to move to local. So that's a kind of a preview. Okay, so let's suppose in a working directory, suppose in the working directory, let's suppose you have some changes here. Okay, let's say there were some 10 files in the working directory. Okay, I have some 10 files here. Okay, I just want only 5 files should be placed in the local repository. Okay, only 5 files in local. So you will move only those 5 files to staging area or index area, a virtual layer. Okay, so whatever in staging area only will go to local. So you are having a better control on which changes will go to local repository. Am I making sense? Hope I answered your question, Sumit. Okay. Right. So that's the importance of staging area. How is the staging area? How to create? We'll see that. Okay. Just give me a few minutes. First, let me explain here all the points. Then we shall talk about it. Now coming to this remote repository. Like what is this remote repository? Right. Remote repository is nothing but your GitHub, Bitbucket, or GitLab. All these works like a remote repository. Means remote repository is nothing but where you can host your local repositories and share it with others. Okay, so yeah, you can host your repositories here. Now here let me tell you few important things. Okay, um, yeah, we were talking about local repository, right? How to create this local repository? There were two use cases how you can create this local repository. One use case is, okay, you joined the team today, you joined the project today. Already there is a remote repository. It's some 2-year-old project. Already there is something on remote. So you can copy from remote and create a local repository. Okay, that's one use case. Another use case is, let's say the project is a new project. Okay, you join the team today. There's nothing on remote. Okay, you can create an empty local repository, develop your changes. Maybe it might be a developer's repository, it might be a DevOps repository, whatever it is. Okay, here I'm explaining the concept. The files could be anything. So create an empty local repository, develop the code base here, then push to remote. Right? This is another use case. So it can be created in two ways. We will get started with this scenario first. Means assume it's a new project. So we will create an empty local repository, put the files there, then move to remote. Then we'll also take up the other use case. First, we'll start with this second use case. Understood how local repository can be created? Is this point clear for each and everyone?
Yes, Preeti.
Right. So that's a two use cases how local repositories can be created. Okay, and another very important point to note here is, yeah, come back to this architecture. Yeah, we were talking about, yeah, you have working directory, you have a staging area, you have local repository. Here, the very important thing is they are nothing but directories, I told you, right? This working directory, this local repository is one and the same folder or the same directory. Then why are you saying it is working directory local repository, isn't it? Yes, it is one and the same directory physically. Logically, they are different. How they are different? What is meant by that logically different? Let me tell you. See, this is a folder or a directory. Okay. If I just placed a file there, I have created a file by writing it or by copying it, whatever. If I just placed a file in this directory means, then we call it as a working directory. The same folder, let's say the folder name is my repository. Okay, so if I have created a file, then I'll say the file is in the working directory. Suppose then if I add the file to staging area by running commands we learn later. Let's say if I add it to staging area, okay, or index area, just let me give you a clue. Okay, then we call it as it is in the staging area, right? Then let's suppose if I commit, means if I move that to local repository, then we'll say it's in the local repository. But physically the file is in the same folder. Do you notice it? File is in the same folder. So the folder name is my repo, means my repo is the working directory. The same my repo is the local repository. Got it, everyone? Physically, it's the same one and the only directory. Logically, it's different. It will be really very interesting to learn Git if you learn it properly, if you understand the concepts thoroughly. Yeah, clear with the concept? It's the same folder, yes. Working directory, local repository. Now you can overlap. Here I'm showing with two different boxes. Now you can overlap them. Both are same. One and the same directory. If you just place the file means you call it is in the working directory. After creating a file, if you move it to or if you place it in the staging area, then you say it's in the staging area. What is meant by placing in the staging area? How do you do it? By running git add command. Okay, then if you put it in local repos, then we say it's in the local repository. Right? So these are the interesting and the important points you need to make a note of. You need to memorize. Watch the recording once again, okay? Because it's a lot of information there, right? A lot many important things we have covered. I have covered almost everything about the architecture, in which you may be having the interview questions like what is the staging area, what is its importance, okay? Why do you need to place them on the remote, how remote the repositories work, for basic questions on Git. right? These are the basic questions on Git for maybe 1 or 2 years experience people. So if you are clear with this, we shall go and install Git and start with the hands-on.